keep the light on. I'm coming home. I no longer want to roam. Set the table, 'cause I know that I'm running out of road. I wandered for miles all around. Dawn had left me sunset bound. The only time I was ever found was when I got lost in you. Thought I'd never change my ways. Been a nomad all my days. But you shook me to my core. Now there's nothing I want more than to see you in the morning, fall asleep by your side, spend my days adoring this life. I wandered for miles all around. Dawn had left me.
Careful.
I've been waiting for this feeling that I have with you. I've been searching for a love that makes the old feel new. All I ever needed was a life with you, to know that I could make it through alright. We don't need money, they can have it all. I don't need a lot as long as I have you. Ain't nothing better than you. I've been praying that I could see those eyes for all my life. I've been asking for a heart like yours to fit with mine. All I ever needed was a life with you, to know that I can make it through alright. We don't need money, they can have it all. I don't need a lot as long as I have you. Ain't nothing better than you.
The old me came to town, and I sat beside him at a seaside bar. Slipping through his hands was your photograph, as he let go of everything he knew. I still feel like I'm letting go of you. I still feel like I'm letting go of you. 'Cause those were the days when something was wrong. I looked you in your face told you that my love was gone. That's when it left. I chased love like a young good man. I tried to find someone to make me right. I know now no one can. You emptied me of everything I got. I still feel like I'm letting go of you. I still feel like I'm letting go of you. 'Cause those were the days when something was wrong. I looked you in your face and I told you that my love was gone. That's when it left. I can't lose, and I don't wanna win. I was never ready. I treated you like
Downshifting, upshifting.
I'll send the signal flare if everything goes right. Just sleep and dream, I'm riding on the wave of light. Everything's changed, buried under graves. Huddled on the runway, waiting for the night. can drink the rain, come back home again. Nothing lights as brightly as the darkness in the dawn. Please don't fly away. And how the years alight themselves and blend into a single flame. I don't think there's a good way out, but I don't know how I can stay. We can drink the rain, come back home again. Nothing lights as brightly as the darkness in the dawn. Please don't fly away.
If I have kids. In the town and 3% of the park. So now, just in front of us though is the police station. So that is a major infrastructure that really.
There's a bunch up on the side of the hill. It's that farther. Not in any hurry.
Come on, hey, go.
This is where I live. Don't seem too concerned.
So that's how hot this fire was. Spring, the aspen are bud the earliest, so they climb up the.
It's been a long time, but I remember it well. Just like the photo we keep on the shelf. Oh, we were young. Oh, we were young. Now 10 years have passed and we're still locked in time. I don't take for granted the years that go by. Started with a gaze, here we remain. All of the moments collected in time, perfectly bound like your hand fits in mine. Lucky to find what we're both looking for in this life. My heart is aching, but somehow in all the right places. You make me feel like enough. I'm ever yours, I'm ever yours. My heart is racing, these tears of happiness shaking, 'cause I know that I found love. I'm ever yours, I'm ever yours. Always believed that after the miles we find ourselves here at the end of the aisle, looking at me.
They sold all their shit the day before they released the pass and like they. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Words, what would you say on this one line? Given the gold, what would you spend on this one find? Before we sleep, what will we dream in the sunlight? If I should go before you wake, would you dream on? You got till it goes. You never know. You never know what you got till it goes. Sorry, my darling, I can't stay. on this main line. So my darling, I must go, but you'll always be mine. You never know, you never know what you got till it goes. You never know, you never know what you got till it goes. You never know, you never know what you got till it goes. You never know, you never know what you got till it goes. You never know, you never know what you got till it goes. You never know, you never know what you got till it goes. You never know.
All the way up to the roof of the van. It was great. Yeah, no.